Hello everybody, 大家好. Welcome to Mr. Cho's Chinese class. In today's video, we're going to finish up lesson 18, text 1. Let's get started. So, we have covered most of the materials in lesson 18, text 1. And we're going to go through the text today. And I'm going to explain any of the grammar points or anything that we haven't really explained yet. So let's take a look. So the conversation started with Gao Wenzhong. He said, 你看，我的肚子越来越大了. So basically he's saying, look, my stomach is getting bigger and bigger. There's a grammar point here. 越来越, we've explained that before in the previous video. 越来越 means more and more. 越来越大 is getting bigger and bigger. And Wang Peng responded with, 你平常吃的那么多，又不运动，当然越来越胖了。平常 is a word we're going to be talking about later on. Means at the usual time. 你平常吃的那么多 so basically it means usually you eat that much. 又不运动 so 又 here is also in addition kind of. So we're going to also explain 又 later on in the next slide. So you eat that much and you don't do sports. 当然越来越胖了 so 越来越 here is used again in front of 胖 so gaining more and more weight. 当然 means of course. Of course you're gaining more and more weight because you eat a lot and you don't do exercise. And Gao Wenzhong said, 那怎么办呢? What should I do? 那怎么办呢? Wang Peng said, 如果怕胖 if you're afraid of gaining weight, 你一个星期运动2-3次，每次半个小时，肚子就会小了。So if you're afraid of gaining more weight, you should exercise 2 to 3 times a week. 运动2-3次 exercise 2 to 3 times. 一个星期 every week. 每次半小时 every time you should exercise half an hour. 肚子就会小了 your stomach it will get smaller. So this is the only part of the conversation that we have a lot to talk about. After that, we have covered most of the stuff. So we're going to talk about 平常 first. So 平常 means during the usual time. It is actually a noun. Some of the places say it's an adjective adverb, but I think it's a noun. It's a time noun, which is essentially the same as 昨天, 前天, etc. 你平常吃的太多了，所以变胖了。And if you can basically replace that 平常 with any time, 你昨天吃的太多了，所以你现在不舒服。For example, 你平常不运动，所以跑步那么难受。Right, so 平常 basically is used like a time. Replacement for 平常 it can be 平时 usually. In English, when you're translating that, you tend to translate that into usually, which is a adjective. But 平常 and 平时 themselves functions like a time noun. Another word that is very similar to 平常 is 常常. However, they are different. 常常 is used to describe things that happens frequently. You can say 我常常和王鹏一起去做运动. However, 平常 is how things happened during normal condition, how things usually goes. 我平常一个月运动一次. So you cannot say 我常常一个月运动一次 because 一个月运动一次 itself is not very frequent, and the meaning would contradict. But it's what happens usually during a regular condition. So 平常 can also be used as an adjective. People sometimes would say 要有平常心, 平常心. So 平常心 means you should have a common heart, a regular, usual heart. So your emotions should stay calm. So it's, no matter what happens, good or bad things happens, you stay the same. You shouldn't be fluctuating too much. Your emotion shouldn't fluctuate too much. That's called 要有平常心. So the next one we're going to be talking quickly about is 又。你吃的又多又不运动，当然不好了。So 又 here kind of like hi in addition, also you don't do that. A quick review for a couple of usages of 又。We've learned 又 as a phrase plus two adjectives. Those two adjectives should be both positive or negative. 又高又帅，还有钱 for example. So that's the Chinese popular word on the internet, 高富帅 right? Tall, rich, and handsome, 高富帅 and you can also use it for something negative. I'm gonna skip the example here. 又 and 在 also means something different. We also talked about that before. So when you're talking about repetition, 又 is a repetition that has happened already. So let's say there's an event A happened in the past, and if it's happened again already by this time as we are speaking, then we need to use 又。昨天吃了面，今天怎么又吃面？ So why are we eating noodle again? However, for 在 it's going to be a repetition that's going to happen in the future. So 昨天和今天都吃了面，明天我们还要再吃面。Okay, so a quick review for the difference between 又 and 在 and it's pretty easy to remember. You can always remember 再见 to see you again in the future. So 在 is a repetition in the future. Last part we're going to be talking about is a 如果就 if then. So a lot of times people would say 如果 something something 就好了. That means if only this would happen and then it would be great. So for Mr. Cho, I would say 如果我们可以出去玩就好了. How about you guys? What would you want to happen? And leave a comment. Let me know. So there's another one which we kind of have learned in the illness unit, which is to describe the frequency. So let's take a look. 每 plus however many a time period, and then plus 次. For example, 每天一次, once a day. 每次 however much. So usually, we talked about before for taking medicines. 每天一次，每次两片, for example. In the gift here, we have 每天一次，每次半杯. So this is how you do 半杯, half a cup. So in this unit, we're talking about that as a frequency of doing exercise. 每周两三次，每次半个小时, for example. Every week, you do that 2 to 3 times. Every time, exercise half an hour. 所以你现在每周出去几次？每次出去多久？ I just saw in the news that people start to dress up when they're taking the trash out. Do you guys do that? So the following part we have mostly covered already. 高文中 said, 我2年没运动了，做什么运动呢？ So 2年没运动 again describe the time period of non-action. Haven't been doing exercise for 2 years. 做什么运动呢？ What should I do? 最简单的运动是跑步。The simplest sport is running. 最简单的运动。And then 高文中 said, 冬天那么冷，夏天那么热，跑步太难受了。Right, it's so cold in the winter and it's so hot in the summer. 跑步太难受了。Right, 跑步 is very uncomfortable. 太难受了。And then 高文中 suggested, 你打网球吧。You should play tennis. And 高文中's excuse was 打网球得买网球拍、网球鞋. So pay attention. Again, this character is not pronounced as the here. It is得. We talked about that in the previous video. 你知道网球拍、网球鞋贵极了. They're extremely expensive. The third activity Wangpen suggested is 打篮球. 他说找几个人打篮球吧。找几个人打篮球 Find several people and play basketball. 买个篮球很便宜。 because 高文中 just complained 打网球贵极了。So Wang suggested something that is relatively cheaper. 打篮球很便宜，买个篮球很便宜。And then 高文中 said, 那每次都得打电话约人，麻烦死了。Okay, every time I have to call and make an appointment with people, that's too much trouble. 麻烦死了，麻烦死了。You can also say 麻烦极了, too troublesome, extremely troublesome. Last sport Wang Peng suggested was 你去游泳吧，不用找人，也不用花很多钱，什么时候去都可以。You should go swimming. You don't need to find people, not like playing basketball. You can do it by yourself. 也不用花很多钱, so it's also not that expensive. 花钱, we talked about that before. 什么时候去都可以. You can go whenever you want. And then 高文中 responded with 游泳我怕水太危险了 Swimming I am afraid of water. It's too dangerous. 淹死了怎么办 What am I gonna do if I get drowned? And then in the end, Wang Peng gave up. He said, 我也没办法了，没办法. There's nothing I can do. There's no solution I can provide. So 办法 means a method or a solution. 没办法, there's nothing I can do, basically. When you're talking to your friends to solve a problem, and then somebody say, 哦，有办法了, then I have a solution. 你不愿意运动，那就胖下去吧。If you're not willing to do sports, if you're not willing to exercise, then you have to just continue to be fat. So there are two other words. We're going to talk about that quickly. 愿意, first of all, 愿意, willing to do something. Okay, I think the most cliche usage of that is 你愿意嫁给我吗? Are you willing to marry me? 我愿意, yes I do. So yes I do, 我愿意 in Chinese. And then there's another structure. You can put verb or adjective with 下去. That means continue to do something if it's a verb, or continue to be like this if it's an adjective. 再在家里待下去，你还能玩什么? So in last week's video, we talked about how Chinese people are fishing in their fish tank. So what else can we do if we're stuck at home? All right, so 待下去, continue to stay at home. 在家里待下去, continue to stay at home. So this is a verb plus 下去, continue to do something, continue to stay at home. And then we have in the text, 你就胖下去吧. 胖 is an adjective, so continue to be fat, 胖下去. All right, so this is lesson 18, text 1. We've finished it. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment below, and I'll try to answer your questions in the comments. All right, take care, everybody. 再见.